Welcome to Randy's Tropical Plants. I know it's been a long time since I made a video. I got some new camera equipment, which you guys have been complaining about the sound and video quality for a long time. I was using some pretty cheap camera equipment. So I'm testing out this new camera, and I'm just going to kind of show you some things I've got going on. I'm going to be taking a lot more footage of and making longer form videos of, but just let you know what's going on and that I'm still here, and show you some cool stuff. We have a male jackfruit flower here. This jackfruit's been in the ground for several years now. This is my Grimachama bush. It is loaded with little flower buds that are just starting to pop here. This is a Jaboticaba Merciaria cauliflora, just starting to bloom out. Last year was the first year it really went big for me. It's got little flower buds all over the stems. But I'll be doing a full video about that. This is my hawkip lychee. It's been in the ground about 3 years. It's been a very happy plant. It's got panicles everywhere. This is a garcinia humulus. It has yet to produce for me, but it's doing beautifully. It's turning out to be a rather pretty specimen. This is a Garcinia brasiliensis. It has been producing for me. But this is a Garcinia intermedia. It has been a very prolific fruiter, especially for its size and age. And it started at about 1.5 years old. This is a pretty rare one. It's a Garcinia aristata. Hasn't bloomed for me yet. I've tasted this fruit. It tastes a lot like an overly ripe apricot. Not bad, but a very, very rare one from Cuba. Eugenia unifora. This is a black fruited form, but it's the first year that it's really bloomed really well for me. It's got flowers all over it. It's a beautiful little bed of Cielo, justicia pectoralis. I need to make a video about that, but it's in. The flowers are actually quite pretty. I'm trying to get a close-up of them, but not doing a very good job there. They look like little tiny orchids. The tea made from this plant is absolutely delicious. Alicia nisopetala, black ayahuasca. I'll be chopping this up pretty soon, making some more cuttings. I wish I could make more of them for you guys throughout the year, but in winter I just can't get any of these to root for me, so I don't even bother trying. Got a pickering mango covered in flower panicles, doing really well. These produce very well, even on a small plant. They will produce in containers, and this really doesn't get enough sun that I think for it to really do as well as it's doing. I would have thought that it would not have produced as well. I was putting it here as a means of having something to cut for scions to make grafts. I knew it would grow well enough here, but I'm very surprised that it's producing as well as it does, and it produces every year. Got the white form of banisteriopsis copy growing here. Got a banisteriopsis muricata here going crazy. This is the red. This is the red form of Suriname cherry, Eugenia unifora. It's going really large this year. I've had this thing in the ground for years, and I'm super mean to it. Almost never care for it, and it would produce quite a few cherries. So this last year I've decided to actually mulch it and actually give it a little bit of food and give it a little bit of TLC, and now it is just exploding with flowers. And it had an early flush where you can see there's a cherry right there, an early flush that's been ripening up. There were not very many in that one, but this is going to be thousands. It's going to be great. This is Banisteriopsis copy Cielo. This is the clone that Terrence McKenna brought back and was growing in Hawaii. There's a Platycerium Superbum. This thing almost died. Ants took up residence. They were big-headed ants that like to carry soil with them and make nests wherever they feel like it. rather than living in the ground. They take the ground with them, and they packed the back of this thing up with actual soil from the earth, and then it started to rot. I realized it in time and completely performed surgery on it, cut away a lot of the rotten stuff, remounted it, and it has taken years, but it's finally starting to look pretty good again, even though it's very small still. It's got fertile fronds on it. It's doing its thing. I'm real happy. Really sad though. Former video showed Platycerium wandai that I had, and there it is, dead. There was a year where we had, I forget exactly which year, but there were several hurricanes, and they came up the Gulf dumping huge amounts of rain on us, and this thing was so big that it would weigh hundreds of pounds when it was wet, and I just couldn't get it up off of the tree to get it out of the rain, and it rotted on me. Really, really sad. Anyway, I had that specimen for so many years, and it had gotten so much bigger than the video that that I showed it in. It was almost twice that size by the time it died. So again, you know, nobody kills plants on purpose, but it happens.